You started in Orlando. Now you're in DC.
Yep.
You see people like Keller who are city centric, and so much of church today has a suburban mindset to it.
It does.
Of what importance is the city to Christianity?
Well, I think it's very important. I mean, Tim Keller was one that really began to make me think about the importance of the city. And he did it by going back and said, what did Paul do? Paul didn't plant churches in the suburbs. I mean, he planted in the city, because it's from the city everything spreads out. The city is where ideas are birthed. The city is where culture is formed. One of the reasons we're in Washington, D.C. with the Institute, I could be anywhere in the United States, but I seriously believe that there are three cities that are driving the culture of this nation. Washington is one. It's all about power. New York is one of the other ones. It's all about money. L.A. is the third one. It's all about sex, money, and power. Unfortunately, those three things are driving the culture of this nation. So we thought it was appropriate that we would stay in Washington, because it is a sense that there is culture being created. Now, that being said, there's centers of culture everywhere. I would suggest that Missoula is a center of culture. The fact that you have the university here, I'm not sure, other than maybe there's one other city in this state that is important, as important culturally as Missoula is. So I think, there's different levels of it, but what we've got to do is figure out, where does God call us to go? Then how can we affect the city or the community that we're in? How can we impact the culture for Christ? And then kind of begin to work out in concentric circles. And you've got to start with the people that you're around. And the next circle is the smaller community in which you live. And then the next one is the city. There are great movements going on right now. I just came from Denver, and great movement there. A lot of people are working, trying to think, how do we take this city back for Christ? Now, here's the interesting thing. They're thinking in terms of 10, 15, 20, 30-year plans. I met with a group of young professionals, about 40 of them, that are committed to doing whatever they can, whatever God will let them do, to take back the city of Denver for Christ. And they're strategically trying to position themselves and work their way into different parts of the city that have huge amounts of influence. And I said, well, how quickly do you want to get this done? They said, we've got a 30-year plan. That's the way we need to be thinking. I've often asked churches, I say, do you have a 30-year plan for what you want to do in your community? And most of them laugh. They say, we don't even have a 2-year plan. We've got to start thinking that way if we're really going to be effective.